We sat down with Comptroller Darlene Green and challengers Celeste Metcalf and Donna Behringer. For background, Green has hardly had to put up a fight to win every election for the last 30 years. That's after she was appointed to the role back in '95 after the previous position holder, Vervis Jones, pled guilty to tax fraud. Her two opponents think you, the voter, deserve a real choice when it comes to how many options you have in picking who handles your money.
I run on a platform of honesty, integrity, and my experience.
Comptroller Darlene Green says her leadership helped the city boost its credit rating from BBB to AA during her time in the position.
We only had $1.5 million in the bank. Now we have $151 million in the rainy day fund.
Green says this is a green flag when the city wants to secure financing and attract investment. She says that rainy day fund allows the city to handle unforeseen challenges, like most recently, she says, a shortfall as the city budgeted $26 million for earnings tax refunds to remote workers, but had to foot $41 million.
The good news is this: we were able to pay out that $41 million because we've got balances in our rainy day fund.
Still, the mistake is a red flag for Green's challengers, Donna Behringer and Celeste Metcalf.
We have some serious issues with our accounting infrastructure right now.
Metcalf is a CPA from St. Louis. She was tasked by the state with overseeing the hundreds of millions of federal stimulus dollars after the '08 recession. She says she's also done contracted work for the city.
When I worked in those previous departments within the city, I kind of wanted to be the comptroller then. But then I saw an article in the paper that says the city wasn't paying their bills on time. I'm like, this is insane.
She's right. In 2023, First Alert 4 reported judges sued the comptroller for refusing to pay bills. That same year, some city employees and contractors said they weren't getting their paychecks. Green says the latter was because of a new digital accounting system implementation.
And of course, there were some hiccups. And with training and the continued to get an understanding under the belt by all of the employees in my office as well as in others, that has subsided.
She goes on to say the city wouldn't have a AA credit rating if it had a chronic problem paying bills. Metcalf thinks Green is too focused on that rating, though, and instead, the comptroller's office should focus on growth.
What good is a great credit rating if you're not using it to develop and grow the city?
Green says she's always been a voice for development in the city. Metcalf says the city can't truly grow until it delivers on basic services.
But when you have a declining population and a declining tax base, sometimes the only thing you can think about is, okay, how do I pick up the trash and how do I fix the streets? I mean, no, let's grow.
Challenger Donna Behringer has ideas too.
I'm known as the fiscal hawk, and what I like to do is I like to go through numbers.
While Behringer isn't an accountant by trade, she is a former state representative and city alderwoman, having served on the budget committee and at the state level, the fiscal review committee. With major money decisions in play, like what to do with the hundreds of millions in RAM settlement dollars, Behringer says the comptroller can't be asleep at the wheel.
I started getting more concerned because I was reading the paper and I started seeing that the position of the comptroller, they were questioning a lot of attendance, showing up for meetings.
Green pushes back on criticisms that she's not at work.
I make an effort to go into the office every single day and to be at work when it's required. And that's important because I am at work whether I'm in office or at remote. The criticism has no fire underneath it.
Behringer says she would be more present as comptroller.
What's interesting is that anyone who's never held office before, if they follow a person like myself in a 7-day work week, they would realize there is no such thing as Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You are on call.
Behringer also wants to prioritize spending American Rescue Plan or ARPA dollars.
I have a feeling that Washington, D.C. is going to be coming to cities like St. Louis, and they're going to take it back.
The nearly $500 million needs to be spent by the end of 2026. Green says her team is auditing ARPA contracts to ensure the funds are spent wisely with a focus on North St. Louis development.
Those dollars, I've got my eyes on those.
But her opponents say Green should have been better following those funds all along, instead of calling for a, quote, do-over on a Northside grant program headed by the St. Louis Development Corporation. It was only after significant questions about how the millions of dollars was doled out and potential fraud came to light.
You don't wait until the building is built and say, I don't like the color of the bricks.
Green says after being alerted to that potential fraud, she was able to stop ineligible businesses from receiving those dollars. Staffing is also an issue at the office. Behringer says good leadership is a big part of that.
I would go into that office and I would immediately want to talk to each one of the employees and say, what can I do to make it better for you to do your job? What is missing?
As Comptroller, Metcalf would want to get to know her staff as well.
We're here to provide a service. And do you want to see the city grow as much as I do? Because if you don't, this may not be a good fit.
Green says she's already working to boost staffing.
We want to fill those gaps as soon as possible so that we can continue to make our office efficient, more efficient.
Her two challengers, though, say it's time for a change.
Last 30 years, we've had a couple different presidents of the board of aldermen. We've had maybe 5 different mayors, but we've had one comptroller for the last 30 years.
And I know people have said to me, I can't believe you would take on a 30-year incumbent. And I said, I can't believe no one has done it yet.
The primary municipal election is set for this upcoming Tuesday, March 4th. A reminder, you can vote for as many candidates for a given office as you want. The two who receive the most votes will run against each other in the general election on April 8th. Cameron Bob, First Alert 4.